We're here outside the square campaigning to save Tallaght Post Office. A lot of people don't know yet, unfortunately. We're the bringers of bad news to a bunch of people here, that they are planning, An Post is planning to privatise the post office at the square, and the workers have been told that that means that the current post office will close in 3 to 6 months and will move somewhere else. If they get away with this, and we have to try to stop them for the workers and for the community which relies on this post office, but if they get away with it, what would likely happen is that the post office would move. For example, it might move into a space inside a shop in the square, and instead of having 7 counters as you currently have, instead of having all the time and attention that everybody we're talking to is talking about that they get from the workers in the post office, people are extremely appreciative. Instead of that, you'd have a much smaller post office without workers having the same time for people because of the pressure to run the whole thing for profit. That's what's happening here. Unfortunately, that's what's been happening across the country. And basically, once they privatise the post office, and 95% of them being privatised, there's no guarantee that they won't be gone altogether. There are similar campaigns happening in other parts of the city and across the country to try and save our post offices, to mean that An Post can't just shirk their responsibility, hand them over to a postmaster, go somewhere much smaller, less of a service, less helpful for people, and then ultimately potentially close them altogether. Hello. So we're really trying to build a campaign to save the post office. The workers have been left with a terrible choice. They're not offered redundancy. They're effectively faced with moving somewhere else if they want to stay within the An Post system, moving somewhere else in Dublin, could be anywhere. You know, it's a horrendous way to treat workers who have served Tallaght community so well. So they're up in arms about it, and the community is up in arms about it. So we need to bring people together, have a very active campaign, put pressure on the government. I mean, An Post is owned by the government, it's owned by the state, it's owned by us. So we have to put pressure on An Post to withdraw from this process, stop privatising, to save our post office. So I'll put a link below in a comment to the petition that's online. Hundreds of people have signed it so far. We're also going to be regularly here outside the square. You can sign the petition here to save the post office. So please spread the word. Obviously most people don't know that this is happening, are pretty shocked when they find out. So we have to raise awareness as quickly as is possible. Thanks a lot.